Greetings, adventurers! I am here with a box. It's my monthly shipment from Paizo for October. I'm getting around to it a little bit late. Things have been busy around the house. But without any further delay, let's go ahead and see what we got. Always be careful with sharp tools, boys and girls. We have packing peanuts. Yay! Let's hope my cat doesn't get a hold of any of them. Because while she may enjoy playing with packing peanuts, they aren't very good for a kitty. Alright, so for maps, we have the new Starfinder flip mat. Starfinder flip mat of Renegade Outpost. We'll open that up and take a look in a moment. Some nice corner protectors here on the new rule book for Monster Core 2. And then we have a package inside the box. Let's see what's in here. Ooh, another flip mat. We have Bandit Hideout for the Pathfinder line. And then we have Adventure Path, Revenge of the Runelords. And this one in particular is the second of the series of 3. And it says, Racing Against Doomsday. Yes, there's always some sort of world-shattering cataclysm about to happen in the Pathfinder world. And this is definitely for high-level PCs. So this book 2 of this adventure path, has the player character starting at 15th level and getting to 18th level by the end of this book. So lots of powerful stuff going on in there. I'm going to go ahead and clean up this mess and then open up the flip mats. All right, adventurers, now that I have cleaned up the mess of the various packing supplies, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of these things real quick. I did a brief look at the opening of the box of the Crypt of Runes, Revenge of the Runelords Adventure Path, volume number 2. It would seem that there is quite a bit of really cool stuff. Just kind of glancing through it real quick. I don't necessarily want to spoil too much, but there is some really, really cool artwork in it. So, but as I said, this is a adventure path for higher level characters. I can do an overview of the entire adventure path at another time. So we won't really get too far into that. But we also have Monster Core 2. I remember back when Monster Core came out, there was a lot of speculation that that was going to be the only Monster Core rulebook that was issued by Paizo after they did the remaster for the ORC license. Yes, they named it the ORC license. But they have now released a second one with additional monsters. First couple pages look to be a lot of the same stuff as far as weak adjustment, elite adjustments, also description of the sidebar icons. But when we get into it here, we notice that there are some creatures that do look familiar, either from previous adventure paths or from previous bestiaries, with a slightly different name. So now it is an Adamant Sentinel, not to be confused with any golem that might be made of adamantine. And quite a few other creatures. So we've got our Agathians. Of course, I'm sure everybody wants me to skip ahead to where the dragons are. We do have some more Clockworks. So we do have the Clockwork Spy listed once again, the Clockwork Soldier, the Clockwork Mage, and even a Clockwork Dragon. So there's a first dragon for you. Let's see. Went all the way to E for a moment there. Aha! So we also now have an adult rune dragon displayed here. The rune dragons are kind of interesting from what I was reading about them in one of the Paizo blog posts, is that as their breath weapon, they can actually eject a cone of magic runes that will then land on their enemies and then potentially explode or do other magical effects. So there are some fun, an adult resurrection dragon. So that could be very interesting. I will have to dive into the stats on that one. Requiem dragon, phase dragon. Ooh, despair dragon. As if people didn't already despair when they saw dragons coming at them. And that brings us to, it looks like, nope. That's an adult coral dragon. Adult cinder dragon, and look, it is red. So yes, there is a red dragon, but the way that Paizo has moved to how they're presenting their dragons is less about chromatic versus metallic dragons. The dragons are now much more about a particular theme, rather than just a strict dogmatic alignment-based version or view of dragons, where individual dragons could also break those molds. Again, much like any other ancestry or creature type, there is no definitive mold that every creature fits into as far as personality or anything like that. But we do have, looks like we've got some giants listed here. And yes, I am not covering every monster that's in the book. If you want every monster that's in the book to be covered, I invite you to get a book and take a look at it. So we have the return of the Gug with its big maw of a face and 4 arms. A Hadronix. I think I'm pronouncing that wrong. I'm reading it upside down, so as to give all of you a view. It looks like they also listed Kami in here, and these are nature spirits that take on a physical body. They actually addressed the fictional character of the mythical, I should say, monster of the Kelpie. There are a lot of legends from various different cultures regarding the Kelpie, and I did get a chance to read in the PDF that I got before I got the physical book some interesting things about it. It's actually presented pretty decently, in my opinion. Then you have anything from a giant leech, which would be a man-sized creature, to leprechauns, which are about half human-sized. Morlocks, mosasaur, even a carnivorous blob. Yay. And skipping back towards the end here, we have Spidos, we have Spiral Centurion, and even a feathered bear. Interesting. It's a spirit guide. So there's a feather bear. For those of you familiar with Pathfinder Society scenarios, there, especially in 2nd edition, they have been dealing with there's a non-player character that has a feathered bear as an eidolon, and that individual is referred to as a god caller because of the magics involved with what they do in summoning creatures. But it looks like there are a lot of fun things or disgusting things that game masters can throw at their players. Even vampires. The Nosferatu, as they may be referred to, in many cultures. And some rather horrific stuff. So this will definitely give me some ideas for running a horror-themed adventure now that we are in spooky season for at least a couple more days. But it's never a bad time to have some spooky monsters thrown at your player characters during a spooky adventure. So moving on from that, let's go ahead and very carefully open up the flip mat, the Pathfinder flip mat of Bayou Hideout. So this would be out in the swamps with various themes of decay and mystery and not knowing what kind of things you're going up against. Looks like we have some classic cartography that we have come to expect from these Pathfinder flip mats. And it folds out to a nice size. Looks like we have the interior of a cabin out here in the swamp. And also looks like there's some boats there docked up nearby. And then on the other side, there is yet another dwelling or building. Looks like a series of them connected by a few bridges and some more boats. But yeah, this is definitely good for those swampy adventures. And then we have the Starfinder flip mat of Renegade Outpost. So looks like the theme for these couple are places where bad guys might hide, or where player characters might hide if they run afoul of someone in power and have to defend themselves, or investigating some other unusual phenomenon. But this one, being a Renegade Outpost, I really do like the artwork on these, the Starfinder flip mats. I'm not going to say any better than the Pathfinder ones because I really do enjoy that style as well. But these definitely have a different feel as far as the art style. But this one, it looks like you've got some walls built up that intruders would have to traverse. And then on this side, again, it looks like a relatively fortified position, someplace where you would hide out. So that is what I got in this month's shipment. I don't have a huge amount of subscriptions. But right now I am still subscribed to the Adventure Path, the maps, and the rule books. So that is what I got. If you guys got something different this month, go ahead and share it with us all. So until next time, adventure on.